return to Lady Blue, who has just made it back to Scarface after a fight with Vixen from the last episode. I'm sure she's going to get an earful from him. You know, because her ear's missing. And also because Scarface is an arsehole. Actually, to be perfectly honest, as much as Blue is normally given unjustified abuse from Scarface, given how much she overacts to her injury, I'm not surprised that Scarface is more miffed at this news than infuriated.
I mean, it's not as if I'd done anything. You know me. I'm an offensive little creature if ever there was one. Oh, blood! She drew blood!
Dear God, even England football players aren't this melodramatic. Of course there's blood there. You've lost your ear. What do you expect to be behind there? Blueberry sauce? Of course, Scarface isn't going to take exception to this, and after about 10 episodes of him constantly saying that he'll get those meddling foxes, he's finally going to make a move on them.
Time I sorted that lot out. Those Farthing creatures are going to rue the day they ever set foot in White Deer Park.
I kill a communist for fun, but for a green card, I'm gonna carve him up real nice.
Fortunately for Fox, Hare manages to eavesdrop on Scarface relaying his plan to Blue, saying that he's gonna round up every blue fox to kill or chase out every Farthing creature in White Deer Park. Yes folks, it's WDP-Day on the park, and the first boats and bombs are closing in. Though, ironically, the last of them as well. Although, speaking of which, I do need to get the battle music ready for later. Now, let's see. Nah, too copyrighted. Nah, used that before. Why do I have this song? Ah, there we go. That's the perfect tune for the fight later.
My son, today your family will reign supreme in White Deer Park. Sorry about the spit in your eye, son.
What happened?
We're gonna war. We're gonna eat that salsa for breakfast.
An unprovoked attack. It's the signal we've all been waiting for.
Hang on, wait, so Ada's killing of Bounder was just a simple mishap for funsies or something? Why is this the signal to do the full-out attack? Or are you just one of those people who likes to see all your followers die before you actually enter the fight yourself? Because if that is your plan, it's a damn clever one, you blue bastard. Scarface also says that he needs to find Weasel to figure out where all the animals' hiding places are, so he's off to find her, though fortunately for her, Hare's going off to warn her as well. Man, no one can talk about anything in this park without someone finding out. I mean, yes, it is a wood, there's not much soundproofing on the outside, but that's what dens, earths, and sets are for privacy. You're lucky that Badger's already dead, or the whole of Facebook would have known by now. I feel like an animal can't even fart in this park without the animals halfway across it already knowing about it. Though we do get a funny little moment with the couple of many tantrums.
Got to hide! Got to hide!
Oh, me too!
What do you have to hide for? Scarface isn't interested in you.
He might think I'm not me.
Eh?
He might think I'm you.
But if he thinks he's you, and you don't think he's him, and I'm not who I think I am, and Measley thinks he's someone else, then what does that make us?
Just 1 moment, please.
Well, whatever. Thankfully, Ranger is still on the side of the red foxes and goes to warn them too. Unfortunately, he comes across douchey, or friendly as some people like to call him, and thus has some trouble relaying the information.
Where's Charmer? I'm on watch now. State your business.
I have something to tell you. There's going to be an attack.
Ha! I don't believe you.
Why would he lie about that? What possible strategic leverage could he possibly get by lying about that?
And how do I know you aren't telling me all this just to get rid of me, so your family can cross this boundary onto our land?
Good answer. Thankfully, Friendly does seem to believe him and goes back to his father to tell him the bad news.
So, the moment has come. Al, Kestrel, get the word out. Tell everyone to come here immediately.
All for one and one for all.
Scarface will find the Farthing animals have not lost their courage.
You might want to check on Rabbit and Weasel before you make that claim. Actually, in that regard, we do get a bit of a funny scene with Rabbit's family, and also the first bit in where we actually see their new kids.
Scarface is about to attack.
Oh!
Don't panic! Don't panic! Scarface is going to kill everybody! Don't panic! What's wrong with Mum?
She's panicking. She's panicking.
That's It's all right then. Everything's normal.
Well, that basically sums up Mrs. Rabbit in a nutshell. Although it must be confusing for the family when the kids have the exact same voice as their parents. It's like in Rooster Teeth Let's Plays, you can't tell if it's Jack or Ryan talking. So yes, Owl, Kestrel and Hare go across warning the other animals of Scarface's attack and to meet at Fox's Earth, bringing the whole Farthing Wood train back together for one final showdown. Although where the hell is the stag and his lot during all this? There's basically a small war about to erupt, and what the hell is he doing about all this, apart from narrating it all? And you know what? Why don't you try and stop pretending to be like Morgan Freeman and get your fluffy white ass into gear and do something about this? Or you've just got a lot of hay to get through or something. So what's left of the animals after Winter and Scarface picking off their numbers gather at Fox's Earth, which is pretty much the animal equivalent of Parliament at this point, and Fox tells him his plan.
We'll send him off, Fox. Don't you worry.
Don't get any crazy ideas. Scarface could destroy you, all of you, in seconds. There's only one hope for you, and that's me. And even I may not be able to fend off his whole tribe of foxes. But I promise you one thing. I will defend you to the last. Hooray!
Or, alternatively, you could agree to the animals helping you out. I mean, think how much help they would be. They could either distract or lay it to Scarface and you'd stand a better chance of survival, and in turn, so would they. I mean, think about it. The squirrels could throw things from the trees, Kestrel and Owl could dive on him and impale him with their talons, Whistler could trap him under his body, the hares and rabbits could dart around and distract him, Weasel could make him deaf by singing to him, Toad could... Well, okay, Toad wouldn't be able to do anything, but still, your rest of your family could team up and attack him and, for lack of a better term, dogpile on him. Hell, after that, there wouldn't be enough of Scarface left to fit in a toothpaste lid. But no, mano y mano, shows of strength and superiority and all that, that'll sort things out perfectly, won't they? Okay, in fairness, it is actually nice to see Fox considering the safety of his fellow animals and to ensure that the situation is dealt with by him, since it's as much as his fault as it is Scarface's that this feud has continued to go on as much as it has. Plus, it's also nice to see him get out of his jerky leader phase a bit more. But still, think how much easier it would be if you allowed the other animals to help you out. Regardless, Kestrel goes over to Pine Trees to look out for the Blue Nazi Brigade, as Whistler, Speedy, Mateless and Mossy drop in, quite literally.
Well done, Mother.
It's strange. Scarface attacking in daylight. You'd have thought he would have waited till night. Perhaps he knows something about our watch.
What do you mean, Friendly?
Perhaps he knows Charmer is on duty through the day.
That's not fair.
Friendly, enough. Let's not fight amongst ourselves.
Oh, I can hear him trying to break out as we speak. What? Oh, what do I mean by that? Well, you'll see soon enough. So everyone goes underground and awaits Scarface's attack.
If only we had Bold with us.
Speaking of which, we cut over to Bold, who is naturally not looking too much better than the last time we saw him. In fact, I really have to give props to the animators here. The model they used for Bold actually does make him look sickly and near death. It really pushes the point home and drives the hardships he's going through. Almost like an emotional state taking its physical form on himself. It's great. Though enough of that now, back to the more interesting stuff. And that's not just my observation, that's basically the point of view of the editor here as well. Seriously, it just goes from Whisper telling Bold that they've got to go, then the BNP here show up. That being the Blue Fox Nationalist Party. What was the point of that? Just to show us that Bold isn't happy? If the last episode wasn't enough to prove that. Well, anyway, the animals wait anxiously in Fox's Earth as Scarface's army approaches it.
I can hear something. Nothing here. They're getting closer.
I haven't felt this tense and gripped in ages. It's like the animal equivalent of the Anne Frank story.
They're coming. This is all very exciting, isn't it? Don't you think it's exciting, dear?
Gag her.
I told you, 50 Shades of Farthing Wood. Eh, Whistler? Seriously though, it's a bit rough just to get your mate to shut up. Show her a bit of respect, Whistler. So Scarface and his gang continue onwards, with Ranger hanging near the back to try and not gain enough attention, and also for the other animals not to gain the wrong impression of him. Unfortunately, Scarface, being the pushy alpha male dad that he is, forces him to go to the front.
Why so far behind, Ranger? Perhaps you do have a yellow streak after all.
I don't like to push myself forward, Father. That's all.
But you're my son. Come to the front.
But Dad, I don't like going at the front. I get dizzy.
You're gonna come to the front and you're gonna like it.
But what if I get sick again?
Then shoo it out your nose or something, I don't care. Just keep moving.
Finally, the Gestapo parade of blue foxes comes across our Anne Frank band of woodland creatures, and Fox heroically edges towards the edge of the entrance to survey the situation. But sadly, Ranger's travel sickness is the last of his worries right now.
So much for your precious Ranger's promises, my girl.
What do you mean?
He's right outside with his father.
Oh, no, but he can't mean to fight.
He'll fight. Blood is thicker than water.
Anyone here? Charmer, please, I want some. Charmer.
Okay, now he sounds like Joe Pasquale.
I've got to go to the hospital next week and have a mole taken off my back. Look at the size of that. Can you believe?
Fortunately, however, Fox takes things calm and rationally.
Get back outside before I kill you.
With family members like this, who needs enemies, eh, Charmer? Fortunately, Ranger says that he wants to keep the Farthing animals safe, though unfortunately that doesn't quite work out.
I'm going to report back that the Earth's deserted. Not a soul in here.
Got ya! The game's up, my friend.
I just love that shot of Scarface's head entering Fox's Earth. It's so cartoonishly fast, it's like seeing Elmer Fudd stick his head down one of Bugs Bunny's rabbit holes.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting filthy wed foxes. Ha 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 ha! We've got them all right.
Don't be afraid. I told you. You'll have to deal with me first. I'm going to challenge Scarface to single combat. It's the only way.
Yes, I know. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You really are the heroic Farthing Fox, after all.
She seems surprisingly light on the idea of her mate fighting another fox to the death. Or are we running on Rocky movie logic here? You know, the scenes where Adrian would go, "Oh, you want to fight a 9 feet Russian man on steroids, do you, Rocky? Sounds good to me."
So, you came in strength, Scarface?
You too have your followers, such as they are.
No followers, only friends.
They're going to rue the day they ever met you.
You've no quarrel with them. It's me you're afraid of.
Afraid? You dare suggest Scarface is afraid?
Yes. Ever since I came to White Deer Park, you've been afraid of me.
Mighty strong words, Fox, considering that you're indirectly responsible for the death of several of his kids. This is the metaphorical equivalent of sticking your hand in a sleeping dragon's nose and then sprinkling pepper all over him. This cannot end well.
Oh, right. You're winding me up, aren't you?
Prove you're not afraid. Fight me. Just you and me. Come on.
Why sacrifice yourself?
If you kill me, your quarrel with the animals of Farthing Wood will come to an end. I want your promise on that. And if I kill you...
You're hopeful.
Come on. What are you waiting for? Or are you yellow?
And this is the moment we've all been waiting for, folks. The fight between the noble and righteous Red Fox of Farthing Wood and the pompous, self-righteous Napoleon complex-stricken Fox of White Deer Park. It's all been one big build-up, all the mini quarrels, fights and feuding. It's all been building up to this one massive moment. Although, speaking of which, I better get the battle music ready. There we go. Oh, and if you're wondering what happened to that annoying wrestle guy from the last week, well... let's just say that he's been otherwise indisposed of.
Trapped in some nerd's basement. He took away my sensor goggles too.
You're lucky, mate. I've been stuck down here for weeks, and it's been hell, I can tell you. Listen to that up there. All those family squabbles dying to be antagonised. At this rate, they're bound to resolve themselves. And quite frankly, the thought of it makes me sick. And so much effort sneaking into that damn nerd den of his, laying him out. I even stole the same shirt he was wearing that day so that people thought I actually was that dork. But no, I still get thrown down here for all my troubles. Oh, and I hope you like the taste of your own piss, because that's all there is to drink down here.
Hey, you kidding? I was stuck in that damn studio for so long, I learned how to make mixes out of mine.
Huh, a cocktail in every sense of the word.
Indeed. Anyway, can I interest you in the Cosmo Pistleton?
No thanks, I'm good. I like to show that I connect with the people on my show, but I don't want to live like them.
Suit yourself. We're gonna die down here, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Yes, well, quite enough of that. Let's get into this fight. And I've been waiting to use this quote all series.
Say hello to my little
Judges, your votes?
10. 10. From Len, the 10.
Damn right! Seriously, that was one of the most awesome things I've ever seen on British TV animation, and I watched Wallace and Gromit for crying out loud, and it's great that it was so good that we didn't just have a generic anti-climax, which not only has this show done sometimes, but others have too. And it felt like the perfect way to end this story. Even if it was a bit short, but, you know, TV running time and all that, you've got to leave space for something. However, Fox didn't have it in him to actually kill Scarface, which I'm actually surprised of given how hostile he's been acting in this half of the series. Though admittedly the squirrels do give a good reason why.
They should have finished him.
I say, it's as well for us Fox hasn't got the killer instinct, or where would we be?
Even though, admittedly, he is standing by the oath, so even if he did have that killer instinct, he wouldn't be attacking you anyway, and to be quite honest, if he had that killer instinct, you'd be in all a lot less danger, but hey, pacifism and all that. So Al, Whistler and Speedy go to Weasel and Measley to tell them the good news about the fight, but the celebration doesn't last long when we get the annoying return of the political debate again. And quite like Mad Max Fury Road, I'm still on a rush from that fight from earlier, so instead of bringing you guys down by showing you this boring moment, I'll just summarise it as much as I can. Weasel takes her case to the Stag, who again was strangely absent during this whole fight. He agrees to Weasel's side, they get an apology, the end. Now let's get back to the awesome stuff. Oh, yeah, right, Bold and Whisper's journey. How's that getting along?
But while hearts were light inside the park, not far beyond its confines, Bold's heart was heavy.
Ah, he's in the melancholy phase of exhaustion. That's always a bitch. But give it time and he'll soon start looking like this.
How you doing? I'm alive! Yeah!
Thankfully, he comes across Shadow again, and I have to say, for all the horrible things that have led up to this point, both within the context of the show and outside of it, it really is a heavy and dramatic scene, and it actually does move me. Watch.
Bold. Can it be you?
Yes, Shadow. This is my mate, Whisper. We're on our way back to White Deer Park.
But you swore you would never go back there. Will you really go now?
My cubs will see it. Come on. We're nearly there. Thank you, Shadow. And goodbye.
Goodbye, Bold.
Godspeed, Bold. Meanwhile, well, let's just say that Scarface's masculinity has taken a big notch since the last time. Which is surprising considering that this and this have happened to him in the past.
I'll look after you, my love.
I'm not your cub.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
No, my love, you're not. You're the bravest fox in the whole world.
Oh yeah, that doesn't sound condescending or smothering at all. Why don't you try and kiss the giant slash marks on his thighs better? Though given who's going to be taking a jab at Scarface next, that's going to be increasingly hard to do.
And now, it's my turn.
So what to make of this episode? 2 words. It kicked ass.
That's 3 words, you twat.
Not if it's hyphened.
You're an idiot.
I love you too, man. No, seriously, this episode was full of everything we come to expect that led up to it. The fight between Fox and Scarface. And that's it. What else do you really need? But we do get some nice bits with Ranger and Fox again, and whilst the Weasel subplot is annoying and interfering, especially after we already got a conclusion to it, it does manage to at least get a small laugh every once in a while. As action-packed as this episode is, I'm glad it didn't go all Mad Max style by having it be all action and minimal quiet scenes, although that might have been awesome in some of its own way, but it has, as some American critics would call it, the quirky British style, where it takes things slowly and allows things to progress naturally, which is nice, and it makes the final fight scene all the more gripping. This episode basically combines all the awesomeness of Friend in Need and Pandemonium into one really great package, and it's a great episode because of that. And we do still get some minor moments with Bold and Whisper's journey, which are still good to see, and this has become a highly revered episode amongst the fan base, myself included. But we're nearing the end of our story now, and that means we've got one more episode to get through. But how on earth could we possibly top the awesomeness from this episode and that one? You'll see.
And now for something completely different.
But if he thinks he's not... Oh, hang on, what's the line? I look like the ghost of Nostradamus. One of those many situations if someone came in here, what the hell would I explain to them? Oh, and Michelle Trainer once said, "Dear future husband." Well, I'm going to make an alternative and say, "Dear future girlfriend, if you ever get into the bedroom with me, expect to see these." Although, I won't be necessarily using them on you.
There's Freudian!